she's also going to
She's
Felicia.
going.
Yeah.
She's going because I had
That is
a
it.
class-related meeting. All right. All right, Ben, thank you for your prompt arrival. We will begin. I will mention the obvious to you as we begin, which is that our class is cut in half compared to round one. That's not because of everyone having to drop because of, widespread pain. But with the CIY relief going on, we are therefore recording our class time for them to watch later. So, I may, assuming I remember to do it, I may talk just a little bit louder than I would typically talk in a room of this size with this size of a group, just to try to make sure that things are well recorded, because it would be very frustrating if this was all recorded and the sound was insufficient. As we interact together, you might try to bear that in mind as well, that perhaps we could try to make sure we articulate ourselves particularly clearly for those that are going to have to look in later on this particular process. And I apologize for just the funky, weird setup of this. And we're just trying to do the best we can to figure out how to make the class work. So you help me continue to figure that out. All right. So I need to go through and make sure that I've got you all straight. Okay. Devin, Gammy, Nathan. I get the two of you. Zach?
Yeah.
Zach. It's Austin?
Mm-hmm.
I did it! I did it! And there's evidence that I did this. Do you all feel loved?
Yeah.
Is this going to show up on the class evaluation in a positive way? Why? Why, my brothers? Because I am on your side. And I want this class to be a positive and productive experience for you. And so, please help me make that happen. Let's pray for the Lord's blessing on our time together this evening, and then we'll get to work, okay? God, thank you for these men. Thank you for the members of our class who are apart from us because of their ministry investments in the lives of young people. We pray for the Christ in Youth Conference, that it will bear fruit for your sake, for your glory. And we pray that our class time here will do the same. I want to ask God specifically that you would work in a powerful and a supernatural way to overcome the limitations of our awkward scheduling processes, and that you will just work in a significant way to equip us through this time together, whether we are experiencing it live or later through the gift of technology, a gift that we embrace and thank you for. We realize in our world and in our experience that technology is not always a gift, that it at times serves our enemy's purposes, either by distracting us in fairly benign ways from more important concerns, but also at times that our enemy works in much more active and much darker kinds of ways. that the kingdom of darkness is evident through technology. But we thank you for it, for the opportunities it provides. Pray that you will help us to redeem it in our lives, personally and in ministry. And I'm really grateful this evening that we can still explore these issues together, and the people who are geographically apart from us can still be involved in our learning community. And so we thank you for that, for the ways that you've worked through really bright and gifted people to make these resources available to us, and for the folks here at Johnson University who are working to incorporate that into the classroom. So thank you for the folks here who have worked to help set all of this up. And we do pray that you will help us to make good use of this time together, these big chunks of time that we have. We pray that you'll help us to focus well, that you will help us to help me as a facilitator of this time to pace our time well. And we pray that you will help us each just have a clear sense of what you are up to as these moments unfold, that we'll be discerning regarding your leading, your guidance, your nudging, your prompting. Pray that you will work to encourage us, also to convict us, that you'll work to reinforce things and connect things that are being learned in other classes with what is happening in this class. And I'm grateful for my colleagues here at Florida campus at Johnson University, for our adjunct personnel, everyone who is working together to advance your mission here. And again, for each of these students, these fellow ministers in training, and I pray that you will bless their lives and use their lives for your glory, for the advancement of your kingdom. You are good, and we are grateful, and yet you are more good than we are grateful. And so we pray that you'll help us have a greater appreciation for your blessings, and that we would come to know you well as we strive to serve you better. Through Jesus we pray. Amen. All right, welcome friends. Ricardo, right? Right. Very good. All right. Going to make sure that I have this all together. That's 6 for 6 for those of you keeping score. Just in case. I'm going to make myself a class math once again this time. All right. It's good to be back with you. In this case, with you guys, since Shana is off on the ministry trip. I want to begin, as I did last time, with a few words that just sort of frame up our time together and to cover a couple of classroom management related issues. So first of all, I do have sort of a codified copy of our syllabus that I'll pass around for you, and then I'll also upload that to Sakai when you get an opportunity to do that. The basic things that you'll want to see in relationship to this. And don't worry about, due dates regarding like Gibson reading stuff from the first class period. I told you just kind of needed to incorporate that, so don't worry about anything. I'm not actually holding you accountable for any of the reading until the end of the course. You'll just submit a confessional statement at the end of the semester regarding the amount of reading that you have completed and other assignments as uploaded. But anyhow, the big things that you need to see, I'd ask you to have the first Old Testament sermon summary. I didn't get that amended. I'm seeing a couple of things that need to be modified off this. Where it says Old Testament sermon summaries 1 and 2 for this class period, obviously that's not true. Just sermon summary 1 is. Old Testament sermon summary 2 is correctly noted down at the beginning of the next class period. So just above right reading where it says Old Testament sermon summary 1 and 2, that's Old Testament sermon summary 1. And I already sent you an email. Basically, I kind of have to codify all this stuff in print, and then I can talk around it. I'm giving you through Monday to turn in your first sermon summary because I'm allowing that for the students that are on the CIY trip. And if I'm going to allow it for them, I'm going to allow it for you. Because you're sitting in class all weekend while they're doing CIY trips. So I'm going to give everybody until 11:59 on. Now you won't bark at me, will you, about drawing the line at 11:59 on Monday, since I moved everything back anyhow, right? So 11:59 Monday. Submit that stuff. If you have any trouble submitting it via Sakai Dropbox, send it to my email. But send it so that there's a date and time stamp on that big boy. So there are no questions. But I'm going to give you through Monday on that to submit that first one, which allows for us, if you've got any questions, regarding clarification of that particular assignment, that allows us some time to do that, for you to do some follow-up work on Monday if you need to, and to get that first sermon assignment. Do all of you have handwritten notes from Shana from our first session together? Okay. Those include clarification on that first written sermon summary assignment, which I uploaded a template for. You may remember I went into a brief discussion of how sermon summaries go bad. Remember that? Sermon summaries have gone wild, remember that? So there are a few notes in relationship to all of that that will help you. But that first one's going to be due on Monday evening. And then sometime next week I'll get it graded. So that you've got quick feedback as you begin working on your second Old Testament sermon summary and your first New Testament one. That will be follow-up to the work that we do in here in this session. And then your second New Testament summary will be due late in April, on April the 21st. All of these dates, it's 11:59 p.m. It's just by the end of the technical date. Eastern time, whatever time you're on. 11:59. So we will talk more about texts for those assignments, but those are the due dates. Then preaching plan and your reading confession. You might want to write that in. I'll try to make sure I make a Sakai announcement about that. Your confession with completed readings and such, and your one-year preaching plan will both be due then on April 28th at the very end of the regular class semester. Any questions about what I've said thus far?
You said April 28th is our reading confession as well?
Yes, sir.
When you're preaching.
Any questions about what I've said thus far? For your Old Testament narrative, I ended up giving you, as I sent in the email, I believe I sent it in an email. I may have posted it in Sakai announcement. I think I sent it in an email. I'm going to let you choose